Hey guys, welcome back. Captain Foley with you for another Eaglemoss review. And today's an XL. I haven't done an XL in a while, and they sent me a great one, which I didn't expect, and I'm excited for it, so we're going to talk about it today. And that is the USS Bonchune Nebula class, NCC 70915. And this is named, of course, after Rob Bonchune, who was a visual effects editor for Enterprise and for Voyager, and a good friend of mine. So this is pretty awesome. I don't know why they didn't name the Rhode Island class the Bonchune, because he basically designed the Rhode Island class, which is a variation of the Nova class. So anyway, with all that out of the way, let's check this thing out. On the box, as you guys know, the Eaglemoss boxes for the XLs are pretty great. We got a great shot of the ship here. Nice title there. Looks great. On the side, you got the classic Star Trek logo. On this end, you got another shot of the ship, a different view, and the name of the ship as well. So again, these make great display pieces on their own. If you want to put it up on a shelf, you don't have room to display the ship, but you can display the box. You got some nice views of the ship that you can stack it whatever way you want. So that's pretty cool. Here is all the other franchises, pretty much. Voyager, DS9, Discovery, Next Generation, Enterprise, and Picard. Soon they're going to have to add in Lower Decks on there, as well as Prodigy, and then Strange New Worlds. It's just going to be, it's going to be busy. You know what I'm saying? So lately I've done some of the Star Trek universe reviews from Eaglemoss, like the Picard ships. Got the first three. Those reviews are already out, so if you want to check those out, please consider doing so. But anyway, opening this thing up, we've got the magazine here. There's a nice shot of the ship there, of course, the name again, and then over here we got some specs. Class Nebula, length 641 meters, launched 2263, crew of 1012. This has the same crew complement of a Galaxy class, 1012. Odd number to pick, but there it is. Going inside, of course, you got the standard how to place it on the stand over there. A great shot of the ship from the front there. This thing looks awesome from the front. I really do like that look. So, and there, of course, we got some of the 3D model pictures, close-ups of the one they actually used to make this ship for Eaglemoss. So, here we got some specifications as well. First appears the Best of Both Worlds TNG. Full debut, The Wounded. Last seen in Endgame Voyager, and designed by Ed Mariaki and Rick Sternbach. Ed Marecki, I guess. But yeah, there it is, and cool little ship. Big ship, cool big ship. So there it is there. Again, a beautiful shot of the ship. That is a nice angle for this thing, coming up to the planet there. It says here, smaller than the Galaxy class, the Nebula class shared a similar design aesthetic to the larger ship, which makes sense. It's much like the, it's a sister ship. Actually, a sister ship is the same class. Sorry, this is like a, I don't know what you would call it. But it's like the Reliant, the Miranda class, using the same design principles, same components essentially, just rearranged in different orders. So they mass produce engines and things like that, and they can use them on different variety of ships. So yeah, that's what we got here. Moving to the next page, beautiful shot of the Nebula class. There's some really good angles for this thing, and then some not so good angles. But here it says, the Nebula class started life as a kit bash model, but soon earned a place as one of Star Trek's most significant secondary ships. Over here we got some different, this is a different variation of it that has 4 nacelles. So some interesting shots of that ship there. And up here we got a shot of the Enterprise at, looks like Wolf 359. So what's this say here? The remains of the Nebula class starship can just be seen at the top left corner when the Enterprise flies through the debris of the fleet that was destroyed by the Borg. So yeah, Wolf 359. And down here for this one, which is a nice variant, it says, Ed Meraki made the model of the first Nebula class ship by using parts from 2 different AMT models of the Enterprise D and some pieces of toys. He built 2 almost identical models, one of which was cut up and made the debris to make the debris needed for the fleet destroyed by the Borg. So again, there's a different variant with a different pod on it. That's from The Wounded. So I mean, you can see the kit bash model there as well with the 4 nacelles. So different variations of it. And at the top there it says, the second study model turned up in Maxwell's ready room and was reused on Riker's desk a few episodes later in Future Imperfect. So for this one here with this pod, more like an AWACS pod, it says the design was strong enough for Greg Jean to make a larger version using the molds he had created for the 4-foot version of the Enterprise D. And of course here's the scenes from The Wounded, which say, the full-size model of the Nebula class made its on-screen debut as the USS Phoenix in the 4th season TNG episode The Wounded, which is a fantastic episode. There is the ship with the pod we all know and love right there. And it says, nobody was particularly happy with the pod that was designed for the USS Phoenix, so when the ship appeared again, Rick Sternbach designed an alternate version. And as we've talked about in Trekyards, we talked to Rick about this as well. There's different pod attachments that could be used up there, scientific, sensor suites, and things like that. Even cargo carriers, even a weapons pod. So different variations, really cool. This picture here, great shot. The pod was added to Gene's original model, which was detailed out to become the USS Sutherland, which is the one, of course, that Data was command of. So. Here we got it at one of the Crab, I think it's McKinley Station, repair dock facilities. The Sutherland was the ship that Data commanded in the blockade of the neutral zone in Redemption 2. This was the first time we saw the bridge of the Nebula class, which is a very different looking bridge from the Galaxy class, as you guys know. Here's a nice shot of the hull of the ship with the registry number. 2 years later, the Nebula class made its big screen debut when it was redressed as the USS Farragut for Star Trek Generations. The ship was named for the ship Kirk revealed he was the helmsman on in the original series Obsession. More behind the scenes shots. You got them messing with the pod here, and yeah, so it says Gene's model had only been built with TV in mind, so ILM's Larry Tan and John Goodson upgraded it for cinematic appearance. On this picture, it says, changing visual effects techniques meant that the Nebula class was rebuilt in CG. The original studio model was sent to Foundation Imaging, where Rob Bonchune used it as the basis for a new model. And there is our friend Rob Bonchune, who's been on the channel multiple times, and a good friend of ours. So down here is the shot from Generations, where they're doing the rescue attempts, or the rescue mission, not attempt, rescue mission of the Enterprise D that had crashed. The Farragut is one of the ships that retrieves the crew of the Enterprise D after they have crashed on the surface of Iridium 3. And here you have the Galaxy class being attacked. The CG version of the Nebula class appeared in several episodes of DS9 and 2 episodes of Voyager, starting with Message in a Bottle. So that's the episode where they introduced the Prometheus, and yeah, you get to see that Nebula class there. So, and it goes on to talk quite a bit about The Wounded. Again, a fantastic episode, and really one of Star Trek's best, definitely TNG's best. So, yeah, big write-up on the Wounded here, talking about the Cardassians and their introduction and things like that. So, very well done. I'm not going to get into all that because it's not really ship-related, but got more there with the Galore class. And so, and that's it for the magazine. That's it. On the back, a beautiful shot of the ship from the top. Again, I do like this ship from a lot of different views. The top isn't the best, but it's not really dynamic enough to be a good view, but it is very cool from the top. So there you have it. That is the magazine there. Let's head on over to the model itself, which is a nice big chunky model, as you can see. Lots of great details on this. I do love the XLs from Eaglemoss. I love the straight on view. That's cool. Side view's got a lot of nice shapes. Back view's also a great view. Top, bottom, better than the top in my opinion. But anyway, let's look at the details on this thing and see what we can see. Moving to the registry number, you got the USS Bonchune NCC 70915 with the nice red pinstriping around it. It's beautiful. A lot of great Aztecing on the hull as you move around. You got the windows there. and they're not really misaligned. They got little indents, and they look like they're actually on pretty good. So that's great. A lot of attention to detail with the escape pods. You got the little red lines on them, which is a very nice touch. So a lot of escape pods around the front and the back of the saucer there. But yeah, I mean, it looks really great. The bridge dome, again, looks fantastic. You have some escape pods on either side of that as well. And yeah, just the saucer in general is a nice looking saucer. It could probably be more detailed with more Aztecs, but it actually looks really good as it is. So let's actually flip it over now and look at the bottom. Here we got some observation windows right in front of that registry number there. Gotta like that. The windows around here also look really, really good. There's some on, some off. There's the black ones, and then there's some white ones as well, which represent being turned on. It sounds dirtier than it was meant to be, so don't. And a lot of escape pods. Look at all the escape pods on that saucer. That's insanity. Wow, that's amazing. Oh, wow. Well, let's move to the navigational deflector. The navigational deflector looks really good. A lot of nice detail in there as well. Painted really nice. Nothing misaligned. This thing looks beautiful, actually. The bottom of the secondary hull, you got the phaser strip, of course. You got the Starfleet banner and pennant. And again, a ton more escape pods. And a lot of great Aztecing detail and windows. The windows here are a lot smaller than the windows on the saucer section. So there's that. Just smaller quarters, different rooms. Probably not quarters in the secondary hull, probably more like labs or engineering things like that. So, but anyway, yeah, some interesting detailing there as well. You got the bottom of the struts here, which again have some detailing. It doesn't carry over to after it curves up though, so not much to talk about there. The bottom of the nacelles have the nice pennant. Again, I love the Aztecing, or the detail that they have on the Galaxy class nacelles, and hence this one. Looks really nice. You got the red Bizarre collectors that are see-through. If you hold them up to light, they shine through really good. And same with the chiller grills. They're actually a clear blue, and if you have a light source behind them, they look really good. You do get some pegs there. There's a peg right in the middle and a peg at the back. That's the only problem I have with the see-through chiller grills, is the peg positions, but it is what it is. It's not that big of a deal. Moving up to the top of the strut here, beautiful pennant with the registry number as well, and you've got a phaser strip along there. Love the attachment points. This is just the Galaxy class nacelle turned upside down, because the detail on the top of this one in front of the strut is the same as the bottom detail of the Galaxy class. So going back here to where they attach into the secondary hull, there's a nice solid conning tower-esque detail, which is really nice. Very chunky Aztecing on that, and kind of primary Aztecing. But going to the back, you've got some detail there, which I'm not sure what that is. Is that a shuttle bay? I don't know. It's got the registry number of the ship there, and above that, some other little greebly bits. But moving to the top pod, again, a lot of attention to detail on this top pod. You've got some really nice texturing in there. That darker gray looks really good. Also some really fine paint details on these little things back here. And just the center, again, a whole lot of detail put into this model. It looks really, really good. This is a fantastic one, actually. I got the RCS thrusters, of course, on the top and bottom of the pod here. And the bottom of the pod looks exactly the same. It's the exact same kind of detailing under there. So that's the Nebula class. A fantastic ship. I wasn't sure if I wanted a Nebula class, but now that I'm holding it, it's one of those things where once you hold the model, you really get a new appreciation for it. This is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Some very nice display options for it. So I think Eaglemoss did a fantastic job overall. I have one beef, though. And that is those nacelles. If you can see, this nacelle is sitting like this. This nacelle is sitting like this. So this one should be like that to match, or they should just be straight. Honestly, the struts are a little bit wonky at the back here, so you do get that weird turned in look. So as much as I love the front view of this thing, I wouldn't want to display it like that. I'd want to have it offset a bit so you couldn't tell. So that's a bit of an issue. I mean, you could probably heat these up with like a heat gun very gently and hold them into the position you want and then let them cool. That might work. That works for a lot of these models with that kind of plastic. So, but you gotta be careful. Don't overheat it, don't melt it, and don't burn yourself, of course. So anyway, there it is. We're going to head over to the stand now and take a look at this thing on the stand. That's just the worst view of it. Let's do some more dynamic. There we go. Heading on over to rescue some Galaxy class goons that screwed up, I guess. Alright guys, so here she is on the stand. You get to see more of that exquisite detailing. The way this slots into the stand is very, very nice. Very good support there. Not rickety, not sketchy at all. So that's a good thing. Lower shelf, I mean, it looks okay. Like I said, I'm not a fan of the shapes from the top. There are a few, it's not directly from the top, it looks kind of alright. Like that's a cool looking shot, you know. So putting on a lower shelf is perfectly acceptable. Putting on a eye level shelf is again a good thing. You got some nice angles here. I wonder if I have this seated in there properly. There we go. It does point up a little bit in the stand, and it's actually angled a little bit to the left on the stand. But anyway, but you gotta be careful of those nacelles being misaligned there. It's kind of a funny look. But on an eye level shelf, there's a lot of really great ways to display this thing to have it look good. So yeah, no problem there. If we move to an upper shelf, that's actually probably the best way to display this one, honestly, which I don't say a lot about the upper shelf placements. But this one, the detail on the bottom is fantastic. And with all those shapes there, there's a lot to break up the monotony of just the saucer. So on an upper shelf, it actually looks really, really great. This is a great display piece for an upper shelf, if that's your thing. While we're here, let's just look at some of that detail again, up close. Yeah, those nacelles are really starting to bug me, actually, the fact that they're like that. I might have to fix mine here, but anyway. So there it is, guys, the Nebula class, the USS Bonchune, which is awesome that it's named for our friend there. So Rob does some really great CGI work and stuff, so that's really, really cool. And I'll have to send him this video when it's uploaded. But there you go. Lots of nice details in there. And just a beautiful looking ship. And a great piece. The XL versions from Eaglemoss are fantastic. Highly recommend picking them up. And this is one that I would say add to the collection. This is one I wasn't even on my radar for picking up. But now that I have it, can't imagine not having it. So anyway, guys, there you have it, the Nebula class. Please like the video, subscribe to both channels, the Captain Foley personal channel and the Trekyards channel, and check out other videos and reviews by me as well. So until next time, guys, it's Captain Foley signing off. Bye-bye.